Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to another video on F1 22, because we have some other details that I missed and that you may have missed from the announcement that was on the official EA page, and some of them may give a bit of a better inkling into what this whole F1 Life hub is going to be like, the supercars potentially as well. So this is off the EA website for F1 22, and this part of it, actually you get to by clicking through to pre-order the game, and then all the way at the bottom, hidden away, is this little blurb. I reckon this is a kind of blurb they would use for, like, maybe on Steam or just, on other sites like PlayStation, Xbox Store, to describe the whole game. And you can see the usual kind of spiel that we saw earlier in the official press release reveal about F1 22. Take your seat for a new season, glitz and glamour of F1 life, race the stunning new cars, 10 teams, control your race experience with immersive cinematic race sequences, and then towards the bottom we've got my team, career mode, whatever, yada yada yada, and then right at the end we've got or change the pace by taking supercars from some of your sport's biggest names. So I'm guessing, some pretty big hitters are going to be here in the game in terms of their supercars. I'm thinking Ferrari, you would think at least Ferrari and McLaren, because those are quite massive ones, and obviously they're actually brands that are in the game already. But does that mean we're going to get other brands that aren't even in F1 as a whole? Lamborghini, Porsche, and then we've got to take to the track in our all-new Pirelli Hot Laps feature. Now, that was nowhere in the press release, that actual name drop of Pirelli hot lapping. Now, obviously, if you've had the privilege of going to a Grand Prix race weekend, or you may have just seen them knocking about, maybe influencers or celebrities posting about it, they do F1 hot laps sponsored by Pirelli, which is basically they get, supercars. They get, usually it'll be like McLaren GT cars, Mercedes, kind of, the supercars Mercedes make. I've never seen a Ferrari do one of these Pirelli hot laps, or like a Lambo. So, I don't know, if they're being true to life with this all-new Pirelli Hot Laps feature, maybe we won't see a Ferrari in the game, but we will see McLarens and Mercedes, because they definitely will use them. And we've seen so many times, F1 drivers take celebrities for a spin. That infamous clip of Lando at Montreal, you're driving. So that's what we're going to get to do. At least one of the things we're going to get to do with the supercars in F1 Life. There also was, I think about a couple of weeks ago, a month or so ago now, there was a kind of little leak on F1 2022. I never commented on it publicly, because just for the sake of my working relationship with Cody's and whatnot, I thought I wouldn't publicly comment on the leaks. But in the leaks, it did say that the supercars could be taken and raced against each other, maybe. In terms of a multiplayer lobby, you could race them wheel to wheel, these supercars. And then a second leak came out saying they've scaled that back and removed that. And that kind of lines up with this, that they're saying we can use the supercars in an all-new Pirelli Hot Lap feature, but they've not mentioned them racing them in multiplayer. So that would kind of go hand in hand with that leak of they scale that back, and instead of letting us race them in multiplayer, they're going to allow us to use them in, well, I don't know, would it be like a mini game sort of thing where you have to try and drift them through the apexes at F1 circuits in a certain way to, appease the celebrity you're taking around or whatever. And then I would suspect that's all it's going to play into that whole customization. And that reminds me a lot of the Forza Horizon 5 character customization. Any kind of, GTA, I spoke about it publicly on Twitter, with my fellow creator Tom about it, and he suggested, would it be like a GTA style thing where you have like a house with a garage? But because it's F1, I kind of think it needs to be, linked to that. So I was thinking maybe a paddock. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what you reckon at this stage, before we know anything else, what F1 Life's going to look like. I'm hoping there's going to be some aspects of us walking into like a paddock setting or an F1 setting, giving that F1 2010 kind of vibe, live the life of the driver. They've said glitz and glamour of F1. That's obviously, away from the track, but they said live the life of an F1 driver. So that would suggest to me having that kind of vibe of a paddock. But yeah, I just don't know what kind of world this is going to be, like a different space, a free roam space for us to walk around in, because otherwise, if it's just literally like a very small aspect, and clearly they put a lot of time into it. I just don't know how many people are going to actually bother purchasing stuff and playing stuff in this kind of space on the F1 game if there isn't like a fleshed out, you know, actual gameplay aspect to it. Continuing on talking about kind of F1 life, I guess, and also just other parts of the game. You know, we're talking about My Team career mode as well, because this was also on the pre-order page. We've got the Standard and Champions Edition. Now, in the Champions Edition of the game, you get a Miami-themed content pack. We saw that in the last video, the first reveal. There was going to be that, but time-limited offer, Miami-themed, so I'm thinking like, you know, palm tree vibes, you know, maybe clothes that, you know, Miami Vice kind of shirts and whatever for your character. We've got F1 22 New Era content. What does that mean? New era content. Would that mean F1 22, you know, base designs for our characters? Or does that mean actual other content in the game with, you know, with My Team or whatever? I don't know, with F1 Life. And then you've got F1 Life starter pack. So I guess, you know, a starting amount of cool designs for your character. We don't even know what that even means. You know, they've talked about clothing and accessories. How far does that go? Does that go as far as F1 you know, Forza Horizon or GTA, where you can change the shirt, the bottom, the shoes, sunshade, all that stuff? And if you can, my question is again, and obviously we'll get it answered eventually at some point with, you know, a trailer or whatever from Cody's and EA, is, you know, what's the point of all that if you can't show it off or do anything with your character, as in like walking him around and whatever? Because obviously with the F1 stuff, you know, like every real-life driver, you know, whatever, Lewis has his fashion, Charles as well, and whatnot. You know, at the end of the day, they get to the paddock and they change out and they get into their overalls, put the helmet on, and they get down to business. So what is you know, what's the gameplay catch with all that? And then we've got a confirmation that we are going to get new My Team icons in the game. So we already had 7 icons added to the game. Obviously, my favorited Jensen Button. We had Ayrton Senna, Prost, Schumacher, you know, Coulthard, Massa, was it? And Rosberg. I think that was the 7 there. So we're going to get, you know, maybe 7 new ones. You know, let me know in the comments below who you would maybe want to get, because I'm sure there'll be some favorite drivers that are maybe, you know, retired over the years that some of you guys want to see if you supported them back in the day. But it's good to see that we are going to get new icons. They're adding stuff to it. So that gives me some hope that with those boasted enhancements to F1 My Team career mode, we don't know what those enhancements are. Maybe one of them is being, you know, new My Team icons, but that gives me some hope that they are going to be adding and continuing to, you know, try and improve on My Team career mode. And I just hope to God the menu system and everything looks a bit different, because otherwise that will be 3 whole games where we have the exact same layout, and that would just be such a, you know, just a bit lazy, to be honest, from their part. So I really hope that's changed. And then obviously you get some pit coins, and I'm sure pit coins will be a very big push in the marketing post-launch of the game with F1 Life, I am sure. Also, one thing I didn't really address in the earlier video today with the reveal was the screenshots. I showed them on screen, but didn't really mention them too much and kind of delved into them. Of course, I talked about the fact that it definitely looks like we've got the same exact Ego engine that the game ran on last year and the previous years, so I'm still waiting for when maybe they'll move to a new Ego engine. This also, I'm sure most of you will know, but if you don't, in terms of the car shapes and whatever, this is now our first look then in the F1 2022 liveries for the teams. But this is our first look at the My Team car, basically. This is the FOM show car that F1 obviously developed to show off the new regulations, and it will be, looks like the same one they're going to use in the game. You know, previously Codemasters and F1 worked together to develop a generic car, but obviously F1 already made a generic car for this new era of Formula 1, because they wanted to, you know, market everything for so many years. So that is going to be the car that we have then basically in My Team career mode. I am a bit disappointed that the nose is such a massive one in comparison to the kind of shorter ones we've seen from Ferrari and Red Bull and basically the quick cars in Formula 1, but it is what it is. My hope of them allowing us, you know, there to be like, you know, proper cosmetic changes in the bodywork and whatever, I mean, unless we're going to find out about it, looks like won't come true, which is a bit disappointing again. But like I said, you know, maybe there's limitations limitations, what they can do with the Ego engine, you know, real-time changes in the model or whatever, I don't know. But that is going to be the My Team car we get. In terms of, like I said, graphically, yeah, it just looks like, you know, it is, you know, nicely polished, don't get me wrong, but you can tell it's from the exact same engine. But I think, to be fair, I think the lighting has actually improved even further. So that's going to be it then for this video. Just a few more details that I and you may have missed from that reveal, and that are kind of hidden away on the F1 22 pre-order landing page. And obviously, as ever, get subscribed, and I will come to you guys with any more news as and when I know it. If you have enjoyed this one, found it informative, then hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Like I said, let me know generally what are you picturing for F1 Live, because I'm actually so baffled at what it's actually going to look like. So I'm curious to see what you guys make of it. But yeah, till the next time, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.